What's up, everybody?
I'm Jackson.
I'm Kenny.
And we are
GK Builders. If you're new to the channel and you love Lego, you should definitely subscribe. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, helps out the channel a whole bunch, and it's always appreciated. Today we're doing a review from a brand new set from Lego Transformers. It is the Bumblebee. Jackson, break down the box.
It's 18 plus. The item number is 10338. It is 995 pieces, and yeah, it's a cool box.
It's a cool box. So this obviously is Generation 1 Bumblebee. And we are going to discuss what we think of this, what we think of the design, how accurate it is to the Generation 1 Bumblebee. You know, a lot of people like Jackson and his generation, they're not super familiar with Generation 1 Transformers. They've seen the Michael Bay movies, and that's why I feel like we got a lot of disappointment in the original Transformers set, the Optimus Prime. This guy right here is because people didn't understand that this was from Generation 1. And
it was?
Yeah, and so like it looks pretty dang good for a representation of G1 Optimus Prime. And the same goes for Bumblebee. Obviously, there's going to be some pros and cons that we'll discuss. But anyway, going back to the box, it is pretty cool. I mean, it's an 18-plus set. It has the little blue hue going on behind Bumblebee here. On the back, it shows how he actually transforms. Much like Optimus Prime, he transforms without removing or adding any additional parts or removing any parts, which is actually very cool, which is actually a huge accomplishment in and of itself. It gives you the dimension. It is 6 inches wide by about 9 inches tall. You can see a picture of him there on display, but overall, a pretty nice looking box there. Pretty cool. Let's check out the instruction book.
Instruction book.
Step aside, Optimus. Here's the instruction book. So we got a picture of Bumblebee right here in his humanoid form. We got a picture of him in his car-anoid form on the back. Paranoid. Inside, we do get some little tidbits of information. A brave little bee, it says. It has some information about the designer right here and from Lego. So, cool little info. Gives you a picture of the two little buddies there side by side on display.
Does it show like the original?
It doesn't.
Design?
I think that's how a lot of people are going to display this, and that's what people are going to want it for, is to display it side by side with Optimus here, which is what we're likely going to do as well. So, the instruction book itself has the gray background. There was Technic elements as well as brick-built elements in this. There are a couple different ways that you can build it, and the transformation process was so-so, but that's what we'll talk about more here in a second. Let's go ahead and check out the Bumblebee set. Okay, so here is the Bumblebee all finished up. Looking pretty good. Obviously, he is smaller than Optimus. We'll go ahead and give you the side-by-side right now. I know that's what everybody wants to see, is how they look side by side. Now, if you were to do this exactly to scale, Optimus would actually be quite a bit bigger, or Bumblebee would be quite a bit smaller, because Bumblebee is significantly smaller than Optimus. But it wouldn't have made sense to make Bumblebee the same size as Optimus, so at least they made him quite a bit smaller. But again, the scale isn't perfect. Now, taking a look at Bumblebee, he does look a little bit clunky, and I will say that the G1 Bumblebee does look clunky. He doesn't look perfect. He doesn't look all slick back and awesome like the Michael Bay Bumblebees or the Bumblebee from like the Bumblebee movie. Those are obviously highly refined, computer-generated
CGI
robots, where these were more
CGI.
basic cartoons from the 80s, you know? So anyway, taking a look at him, we'll just give you a 360 view here. He has these large wings on the back, huge wheels and fenders on the shoulders. That's one of the things that we'll discuss. And as far as the accuracy of this, those shoulders don't really exist on the Generation 1 Bumblebee. He's got kind of skinny legs, kind of a skinny body. This did have a couple of new elements. 2 of them were right here. Well, one of them, I guess, and there's 2 of them. It's kind of, I don't know, it's like almost looks like a bone, has the circles at both ends with the Technic bit in between. That was a new element that was created for this set. There were only a few stickers, actually several printed parts, which was nice. These
sticker right there.
These Autobot logos here on the chest and leg are printed. The face piece is actually printed, as well as that forehead piece. The only real stickers, where were they? Oh, they were the bumper pieces, yeah. So one says roll out, and then there is the license plate, which you had 2 variations. This one says Bumble 84. And the other one I believe said Gold Bug or something like that. And then this sticker says I love Cybertron. And we'll transform it here in just a second so you can see the transformed look. But overall, that is him. These pieces were printed on the legs as well. So yeah, it was just the bumper stickers and the license plates that were stickers. But yeah, he does hold the gun in his hand. He has arms that do articulate a little bit. In the elbows, the hands can spin. The feet, not a whole lot of movement, but you can move the legs in and out. So you can pose him. He is poseable. His fingers have full dexterity. And then yeah, he has the nice gun there that he can hold in his hand, which looks pretty cool. Not unlike Optimus's there. So very cool, not too bad. And of course, I failed to mention, much like Optimus, he does come with the little UCS style plaque that says Bumblebee and has a few details about Bumblebee on it. This one's actually beefed up. They put some pieces on the back as well as a hidden little bee right there, which there's another one that hangs out in the window of Bumblebee also that you can see in car form.
Oh, I see it.
But yeah, I feel like they're good side-by-side companions. They're gonna look really good on display. Before we go into some of my personal pros and cons, Jackson, let me know, what are some of your thoughts on the Bumblebee?
I really think this is like a really cool set. I mean, I've never like seen the TV show, but I think like if I saw that, and I would say that's like that's Bumblebee. But I mean, there's some things that I don't really like about it. Like when we were at the Lego store, I noticed the shoulders. They were like,
yeah,
it was like a turtleneck.
They're really huge. And I'm gonna go ahead and put some pictures of the G1 Bumblebee from the cartoons or comics, as well as toy versions of Bumblebee, so you can kind of see like a comparison of what he should have looked like compared to what he does look like. Obviously, it's not super easy to build something out of Lego that transforms without removing any pieces, and I feel like that is kind of the drawback. Like, its biggest advantage and the biggest pro of this set is also going to be the biggest detriment, as like the biggest con to this set is going to be the fact that he, you know, it's awesome that he transforms, but it's not awesome that they had to, you know, hurt the design and look of it and accuracy in order to make it transform. That was kind of the issue with the Hulkbuster, was they wanted to design it so that the other, you know, the Mark 43 set could fit inside of it.
So but yet, made it look horrible.
But that made it look completely inaccurate. I feel like it's kind of the same thing with this. Like, in order to make it transform, they had to make it inaccurate. Overall, he looks cool, but when you're comparing him to the source material and what he's supposed to look like, he's way off. These shoulders are way too huge. The tires are way too huge. This chest piece is wrong. It's supposed to have the... it's supposed to have the windshield down here at the bottom. His legs are a little bit too skinny. The feet are big on him, but I feel like they're just a little bit too big. Yeah, the back doesn't have this back piece and the wings and such. That's all completely wrong. I think the face and head looks really good. The feet, like I said, don't look bad. They just feel a little bit too big and clunky. But yeah, I feel like the biggest thing is just going to be these shoulders and arms are just completely wrong. And then when we turn him into the car, I have some complaints about that as well. Of course, it's awesome that he turns into a car, but we'll check it out in a second. You'll kind of see what I mean.
Another thing that I didn't really like about it was like the legs, how skinny they were, and then, like they made his body like super skinny.
Yeah, especially from the back. Like he just looks really, really skinny. Yeah, they do give the option to replace these Autobot logos with blank tiles as well. They give you the blank tiles to do that. And like I said, there are 2 license plate variations. But I know one of the complaints on Optimus also was that he's very fragile and very hard to transform. I haven't noticed that he's super hard to transform, and I haven't heard as many complaints about Bumblebee regarding that. And I don't feel like he's as fragile either. I transform it. I did lose 2 pieces, and I don't know where they went, but they're just little tiny pieces. I have to find out where they went later. But
did Doc see them?
No, they're in the tray. But overall, like, I remember the first time I transported Optimus, he like broke in half. And I know I've heard a lot of people that breaks in half at the waist. I didn't have that problem with Bumblebee. But let's go ahead and transform him and see if I can remember how to do it.
All I want
Okay, I think we did it. Okay, so
Vroom, vroom.
one thing, there's not a place for the gun. That just kind of gets set aside. That was not easy. It was a lot easier to change it from the car into the robot than it was to change it back from the robot into the car. And the problem is you have instructions to change it from the car to the robot, but there weren't any instructions in the instruction book on how to do the reverse. So, and I also found the spot where the pieces that fell off when I transformed it the first time, where they go is right here and here. So here is the car. It's the Volkswagen Beetle, as you can see.
Slug bug.
It's a slug bug. It's yellow. And yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of complaints about the look of this, and I can understand them. You know, it looks like a beetle if you look at it, but it leaves a lot to be desired. You know, this back window is completely wrong. The front windows are wrong. A lot of people have said that these should have been the black, clear black windows rather than blue, which I agree. I think the blue does look kind of funny. The front looks okay in the bumper, but yeah, the back,
I have a lot of complaints about this.
it looks very clunky, blocky. It's not very well rounded. I mean, I'll go ahead and put some pictures on the screen too of what a Volkswagen Beetle looks like, so you can kind of compare.
Pretty yellow.
But again, I feel like they had to kind of sacrifice the look of it for the fact that it does transform. We did, I guess the doors fell off when we were just transforming it, but otherwise, you know, it wasn't too bad. It didn't fall into pieces. It wasn't easy though. It took a little bit of figuring out. Obviously, you could kind of see it in sped up motion, but overall, it is what it is. I think us, as well as most people, are probably going to display this in the humanoid form, the robot form. And honestly, after we transform it back to the robot, we may never turn it back into the car again.
That's what we did with Optimus.
The same with Optimus, you know. But overall, I think it is what it is. It's pretty cool. I'm just, you know, when you boil it all down, I'm just super happy that they're making Transformer sets. You know, I think they look good on display. I hope they keep on making them. Hopefully it doesn't take 2 more years to get another one. I know most people really want like Megatron. Obviously there's a whole bunch of different Transformers that they can make in the future, and like I said, I hope they just keep on making them. Now Jax, I know you've had a lot of thoughts on the car version of this. Tell me about some of what you're thinking.
I mean, it just doesn't look good. Like, there's so many gaps. Like, the windshield, you can like see all the Technic parts, and it's just all gray, and I don't know. I just feel like it was hard to transform from the like Bumblebee to the car, and I don't know. It's just not the best.
Yeah, I agree. The back windshield is represented by like just a couple of translucent blue like cheese slopes, or cheese wedges, whatever you want to call them. It's just, yeah, overall it's not super good. One thing I didn't mention was on the bottom, there are a couple of rubber tires for his feet. So if you do put him on display, he doesn't slide on the table, which makes it so he won't fall over as easily. So that was well thought out. But overall, if I'm giving this a grade between 1 and 10, I'm probably going to give it like a 6.5. I think it's nice overall. It just doesn't work out 100%. Jackson, what are you going to give it on a scale of 1 to 10?
I would probably give it a 7. Just, I mean, the Autobot form is really good, but the car, it's okay, not the best.
They had to make some sacrifices in order to make it transform. So where it lacks in look and overall accuracy, it makes up for it, I guess, in the transforming aspect. But I would have rather they just nailed the Autobot form of it, you know, and maybe not had it transform, or maybe had it so you could take it apart and put it back together as a car, like a 2-in-1 kind of thing. I think doing something that would be a little bit better if it was a lot more accurate look. And I'm sure that we're going to get some rebrickable sets. Some people are going to take this and they're going to remock it, kind of like they did with the Hulkbuster, and we'll kind of see what they come up with. Maybe they'll come up with something much better and much more accurate than what we see right here. All right, so there it is, the Bumblebee from Lego Transformers. Have you built it? What do you think of it? Let us know in the comments below. As always, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until next time,
Keep on building.